What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the top of the map in the red color, playing as Set. His name is Skady. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Zeus. His name is AC the Great. I love it when people play different gods. This is 3 games we've seen from these 2 players, and each game is going to be very different. We saw a pretty brutal Loki versus Isis game. We saw a equally brutal Ra versus Hades game. Now, in game number 3, we're going to be seeing Zeus versus Set. I think that this matchup is really tough for both players. It requires some really deep understanding to get wins in this matchup. So let's talk a little bit about what makes this matchup different to, say, what we just saw, which was Ra versus Hades. So Ra versus Hades, very defensive matchup, very much like bash each other in the mid game and all the other stuff, and then try and find an advantage in the late game. This matchup here, Zeus versus Set. Set is a timing attack based god. Set gets access to 4 god powers which aid Set in timing attacks. Set also gets access to converting hunt, which means, and building hunt, which in their base, which means they don't need to go and hunt. They can get extra boost to their economy, which will boost their timing attacks even faster. So everything about that makes me feel like you should be trying to timing attack with Set. Now, the big reason I say that is because if you go for defensive orientated play with Set, 3 town center booms, for example, what you're going to find ends up happening is your opponent will equally boom, and they are going to be able to topple you. They're going to be able to outdo you in a big way. So what can you do about that? Well, you can't. You timing attack. We'll explain that. So timing attacks are what Set wants to do. Now, if that's the case, you're playing Zeus. What do you need to do to beat Set? Firstly, you have to overcome the Egyptian problem. The Egyptian problem is the Egyptians have got some really strong heroic age units, so you have to overcome that. But if you overcome that, what's coming after that? Well, you have to overcome the timing attack. So how do you do that? Answer, ceasefire. Big answer is ceasefire. Second answer, Masons, fortified town centers. Those are the big ticket upgrades that Greek players, and specifically Zeus and Poseidon, have got a big advantage in. Hades doesn't have ceasefire, but does have restoration, which is very useful as well. So we'll see how this is all going to shape up as the temple coming down now for AC the Great, and he's going to do everything. So, okay, so let's just have a hypothetical here just to talk about potential stuff that could happen. Let's say Skady, this matchup, decides to go to town center, which he very well might be doing here. Looks like he doesn't have a monument down. So he's going for a 2 town center. But let's say he goes to town center. He goes for a 430 town center. He gets it up without having to use shifting sands. He's got himself 2 monuments, which is definitely a possibility here. His opponent, AC, also goes 2 town centers, puts some light pressure on, but can't get too much done. The Set player should be able to hit somewhere between 7 minutes, 45 seconds, and 8 minutes to the heroic age. Should be able to. So what do you do with that? Well, you can make chariot archers on loop, and you can try and get to the mythic age. You can make chariot archers spearmen and try and get to the mythic age. And then you can try and put some sort of pressure on. A big usage to make your timing attack work, a big way to make it work, is for the shifting sands to be used to try and pick off a whole bunch of villages. So the example would possibly be that like AC the Great would have his units over here on this location, or maybe on this gold mine here, and then you would shifting sands onto this gold mine and pick off all the villages if ceasefire doesn't come down. Then ceasefire comes down, and then you've got tornado ancestors to give yourself a 4 town center advantage. So that would be one situation there. So what do you have to do? You have to play around you have to play around shifting sands to not be caught out by that. You have to make sure you get value from your ceasefires. We are seeing the Jason coming in onto this position, the Katoskopos being very annoying. And Skady going for something very different. I like this play. I like this play by Skady. He's going for a barracks here. He's going for a barracks on Frozen Wastes. shaking things up quite a bit. Hermes coming through. This will basically allow Skady to build some units and defend against the potential Odysseus Jason shenanigans. As we see the Jason coming through, going to be taken down. These units in a big bolt getting dropped down onto this position here as all of those animals are set, looking like they're going to be getting taken down. The villagers coming through to try and shank the Jason away. As Skady now going to start building some spearmen out. So the big reason why I like this barracks here and this idea from Skady is that he's going to prevent AC from playing his game. AC definitely is going to be in favor of grabbing town centers here and trying to play like that. But with a barracks down, it means that Skady is going to be able to put some light pressure on and prevent hunting from going on, prevent easy booming from happening. We are seeing the Odysseus coming in onto this position, immediately going after the Wadjet, but we will be seeing a bit of a shifting sands coming in to this position here, and the Odysseus taking some big damage here from those towers, the town center, attempting to retreat out of here as the spearman is coming through to get some damage on. It looks like the Odysseus will get out of here, but the question is, will he be able to beat the spearman or not? 53 HP, 83 HP to 53 HP will leave the Odysseus alive, but will be very, very hurt and battered. As we're seeing now Skady coming through. However, Skady now down ceasefire. He's down shifting sands, so that ceasefire is going to be a guaranteed counter to ancestors or to a tornado. So we'll see how that's going to matter as this game is going to continue along here, as the village is going to continue eating this food over here. Skady still building villages. He's actually housed here as we see this town center coming up. I like this town center grab by AC. If he can get it, then he gets access to this hunt against these units here. It's not going to be that useful. We are seeing, however, Hippocon getting taken out really, really easily here as another Jason does get built. Going to finish off this spearman fairly easily here as the game is going to continue, and Skady says in that moment, yep, let's grab this town center. Now, the big problem for Skady is he hasn't got any monuments down. So there's no favor, which means he's got no hunt. Not only that, he's got, or no hunt that he can build, but not only that, he's got no favor for Shadoof, so he can't even go into farms here. Now, luckily for Skady, there are these walrus here. He's going to be converting them, eating them underneath his town center. So that's going to be a big help. He's got a polar bear over here he can eat. He can eat his own polar bear here as well to keep himself motoring ahead, as we see the spearman coming in onto this position here. Actually, the great continuing along here. Unfortunately for AC, he's not producing villages anymore, so he's going to have to check that out and get that fixed. As the villager does walk over here and needs to get looped again. We see the spearman coming in onto this position. Villagers jumping through the tower. Lots of pressure happening right now as AC in a bit of problems. Now, one thing that I will continue to say is, if you go Hippocon here, you can start thinking about making hoplites as well. Instead of the idea of making toxotes, you make Hippocon hoplites and you live the dream. Because the idea is that this wood is all going to be going into farms anyways. And are we seeing archery range? Boo. Hippocon hoplites even stronger for Zeus than with the other Greeks, because you've also got the bonus damage versus buildings that can come through. So it makes even more sense to go for that. As we see Skady now moving into this position, potentially going to get a villager kill. It's going to be a little bit tough with the town center being here, but this villager a little bit out of position as Skady is simply just scouting around. Looks like he's going for a third town center here, so going for a little bit of a boom after the early pressure that he has been receiving here in this game. So we'll see how that's going to go. There's not really any points here that are really attackable, as we see the walrus getting picked off. These priests need to kind of convert the walrus. I don't think multiple priests convert a walrus faster. There's nothing that says this. This walrus converts in 60 seconds. So 3 priests does not speed that up at all. Maybe it seems like they might, but a little known fact, they do not. They just all start working, and whoever stays there for the 60 seconds gets the conversion. As the town center goes down, and this town center gives access to this gold mine, as does this town center giving access to this gold mine. So that's very nice as well here. As the spearman going to be looking around the map, looking for some goats to send back home, I guess. Maybe looking to hit the berries or something like this as he's wandering around. They are 5.0 speed, so pretty quick, and not really a lot of counters to spearman raids in the early game here for a Greek player. Simply just watchtowers, I guess, and maybe getting some Hippocon around there to chase him down wouldn't be the worst of ideas here, as AC's now coming through onto this position here. He will be spotting the gold mine. If we take a good look at his perspective here, he sees the gold mine. The village is already making a run for it. Just going to take a couple of hits of damage. Nice surround there by AC. Going to be getting that villager kill. However, he does lose one Hippocon for it, so not the best of trades. When your opponent's already 3 town centers, it's not, I mean, you get the villager idle time as well, so maybe it ends up getting close to worth it, but nice raid for AC, even with the dead Hippocon, as we see him continuing to look around for stuff to do. If we take a good look at Skady's economy, he's got himself Shadoof now. He's definitely thinking about getting farms out. One thing you do need to, he's actually going through Nephthys here, so that's a nice timing to get to that after everything's going on. So farm's going to get dropped, but the big question is, what do you do in the heroic age? Are we really thinking, do we go chariot archers here? I feel like getting all the farms and going into like elephant spearmen is something that could be really, really strong. You have to go up to like 40 or 50 farms to make that work. It's a little bit crazy, but elephant spearmen, definitely some scary compositions are available if you can make that work. As AC pumping out the villagers all over the place, doing his best to get going. He's got not many villagers on food right now. He's got plenty of goats in his base though, so he shouldn't have all too many problems. He's 3 town centers himself, and what AC really wants most of all in this game is to be getting to the mythic age and then just starting to make Colossus. It's one of the simplest win conditions that Zeus has in this matchup, and it's mass Colossus. If you can get there, the set really struggles to deal with mass Colossus. Man, Avengers are kind of an option, but not really. And Feudal Rights Priests don't really do all too much, and you can even pick those off with a Bellerophon. So things can be very, very tough for the set in the late game here against Zeus. So set is on a bit of a time, or Skady is on a bit of a time here. So we'll see what his plan is. He's dropping a Migdol Stronghold over here. Chariot Archer Spearman, also not that bad of an idea to go for against the Hippocon Toxotes army, because chariots really do counter Toxotes in a really big way with their range and their extra DPS. I guess mostly their range, as the Hippocon over here are getting taken down. Skady now dropping his Siege Works here. He's making himself Scorpion Man, or gets the free Scorpion Man out. One monument up right now as a marker getting dropped down. Do we see immediate upgrades here? No, we still don't have pickaxe. It's a bit of a mistake, but we are seeing husbandry coming through. Definitely pickaxe and irrigation going to be something that's super important to grab, as now we've got Skady moving around the map here with his chariot archers, his spearmen and his scorpion, looking for something to take out, as the Hippocon now making their way over to this position. We've got the market up in the base. Skady pumping villages out as best as he can. Another marker coming up over here for Skady. Not sure exactly what the purpose of that is here, as the Toxotes does get taken out over on that corner there, as the Hippocon making their way, sneaking in onto this position here. And now Skady moving around here, going to look to take down some villages if he can. Remember last game, he had some really, really nice raids with his units. A little bit of a different composition, though. Toxotes are more than capable of dealing with these spearman raids on this position here. And not exactly the best raid coming in for Skady, but he's pushing it on multiple different angles right now. 126, 135 population to AC the Great, who's at 135, 145 population. Meanwhile, we've got a bit of a raid over here coming through for AC the Great. Picks off 2 villages for the cost of 1 Hippocon, 3 villages even for the cost of 1 Hippocon there. Nice raid, counter raid, I should say, by AC, as Skady is getting slowly but surely pushed back here. Nice micro by Skady nonetheless, but it's just not going to be enough here. He doesn't have the units on this position to really make this push happen, and he's kind of, his economy is kind of shot here just because he doesn't have upgrades. It's not Set's economy. Everyone says Set's economy is so weak. Set's economy is not weak. It's just that people don't play into Set's strengths. Set's economic strengths, which is the animals, and also in this situation, Egyptians economic strength of specific upgrades needing to be grabbed. As the villagers over here getting hit yet again, there's plenty of villagers here. You can definitely turn around and start shanking, which is exactly what Skady is doing. You're going to be picking off these Hippocon very, very nicely here, as this villager over here might end up falling. Hippocon retreating just a little bit, going to turn around and get some nice picks. These Hippocon over here getting taken down nicely by the town center with the help of the towns, of the villagers here, as more villagers getting picked off. AC's raids here are very, very strong, as Skady has to pull back. How's Skady's economy looking? He's still pumping up the villagers here. AC, on the other hand, still not able to advance. He's over here on this gold mine right now. How are the economic upgrades? He's got himself shaft mine already, and that's going to be very, very helpful here to get the gold income to advance to the next age. Does he have an armory? He does not have the armory up just yet. He's not building it anywhere. I imagine he might shoot it up right now with these villagers. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Exactly what he's going to do. As now we see Skady pushing in onto this position. He's got himself upgrades yet? Yes, he's got himself the pickaxe. Still no shaft mine, but I'm sure that'll be on the way soon. More stables going to be coming through for Skady, as he's got a bit of an army to deal with. Guess what? What units deal with these cavalry and these spearmen really nicely? Hoplites. Hoplite Hippocon. Guys, it's the way of the future. Villagers getting picked off over here. Hippocon going to be going down fairly quickly, as well as the villagers getting back onto this gold mine. Maybe a wall here wouldn't go astray. I do feel like, I mean, it's a lot of time and a lot of resources, but a wall that kind of looks like that, where you build it around, not a bad idea on frozen wastes. And even a gold mine that looks kind of, well, as we see a vision getting dropped onto this location, even if, say, these forests weren't here, even if you do some kind of wall that looks like something like this, where you come here, isn't necessarily a bad idea either. I feel like you should consider doing it, because it doesn't cost that much and it keeps your villages alive. As we see, Dionysus is the god of choice for AC. I don't like that. Dionysus gives him a little bit of a timing with bronze, but doesn't really end up amounting to much, and you kind of want to be able to change the battlefield a little bit with an underworld. But right now, AC is just going to be on the back foot. We see this Pharaoh getting picked off. Nice raid there by AC to grab that one. It's a Migdal Stronghold coming on the front for Skady, and Skady is now up through Horus. So we'll see what Skady's plan is. He's already over here with these markers. Got some barracks coming down in the corner of the map. The Chariot Archer, Cavalry Army coming in over here. And what are the upgrades looking like for AC? He doesn't have the upgrades he needs. Remember those upgrades I told you about? Fortified town centers, masons. As soon as you hit the heroic age, get those two upgrades. So we see the villagers getting taken down as the cavalry swinging in onto this position. Get some good raids over there. Meanwhile, this forward Migdal has been denied for the time being, but heavy spearmen are out and they're doing some good damage over here. Skady, on the other hand, might want to think about getting in fortified town centers himself, which he is indeed doing. The villagers over here getting pushed back. And AC is able to advance through Hephaestus himself. But is it going to be too little too late? The problem right now for Skady is he lost his Pharaoh and he needs to double down on this attack. So if he tornadoes this, he needs to drop a Migdal down like even before he drops the tornado. As we see, excuse me, the tornado being dropped on this position over here. And he does have a Migdal down already, so he can slow push here just a little bit. Maybe another Migdal being dropped on this position here to take control of this town center, getting himself 4-2 town center advantage here as AC is on the back foot. Now remember, AC does have ceasefire, so he can use that to deny any sort of push, getting his town center back. But that will allow Skady to then click ancestors for himself, as the villagers are going to be pushing in here, potentially going to cast ancestors here right now to try and force some sort of a ceasefire. You got to be careful when you do this though, because AC is going to shank this down and try and steal it back for himself. He gets to decide when he I was going to say he gets to decide when he casts ceasefire. So, okay. For those of you who are a little bit confused with what just happened then. AC killed the town center. This is AC's point of view. He's killing the town center. He hits his town center hotkey. He left clicks on the town center and he immediately clicks ceasefire, expecting him to start the town center. But while he did that, Skady also rebuilt the town center and his town center came through first. Whether it be ping difference or whether he clicked it first remains to be seen. But the thing is, Skady clicked it first and then ceasefire comes through. If you want to do this properly and never find yourself in this position again, just wait and see. Just wait and see. Just wait and see. Try and build the town center yourself first. See that it's blue and then click ceasefire. You're going to have a much, much happier life. Right now, we see the chariot archers moving all around the map. We've even got rhinoceros offset coming in onto this position here, taking those villages down. We do have a random military barracks academy over there. But even with this town center up, the game is not completely secured here for Skady. What can happen if you're AC, you go straight into Colossus here. You need to have access to a gold mine. What Skady's doing is beautiful right now, by the way. He is cutting gold with these units to prevent Colossus from coming in, which is going to be just a perfect way to play because that's the only real way back in for AC the Great. He needs to get like 3 or 4 Colossus out, push this town center down. But right now we've got ourselves already up to champion spearmen with spear on the horizon. So these are effectively super champion spearmen. That is a coined term, I'll have you know. If you are unaware of what this upgrade does, it gives roughly the same amount of upgrades. Actually, even more hit points. It gives 10% more hit points than Champion Spearman. So a little bit better than Champion Spearman. As a Bellerophon comes out over here, going to look for some more raids. We've got the Colossus trying to take this location down. The villagers repairing it back up. And we do have the Avenger here. And remember, I said you can kind of use Avengers to counter Colossus. Kind of. The damage is pretty good. The Colossus has got 50% hack armor, 28 damage per second, plus 200% bonus damage. So, Avenger can kill off a Colossus fairly quickly. And that's even with all the upgrades. So, that's not going to go down anytime soon. Villagers get pushed off the gold mine, and AC is without gold right now. He can't get gold here. He isn't gathering gold here. This is 600 gold left over on this position. So even if he grabs it all, it's not that much. He does have the plenty vault and he does have a market. So he could start some trade. But the spearmen are hanging out here, making sure that that's not a go at all. We got some Myrmidon getting created out of this barracks. Going to attempt to come over here and take this down. But there's already units here. And I'm sure Skady is going to put some defenses up. And it's exactly what he's doing. And the watchtower's there. Siege towers pushing in. And Skady... he should know he's still technically on a timer, even though he's currently cut gold. But he's going to keep pushing. He's going to keep pushing and see what he's going to be able to do. Migdol Stronghold coming up on this position. The spearmen popping out, or popping into priest spearmen into this town center here for just a little bit. Chariot archers coming over here. We see the Myrmidon coming through for AC the Great. These are terrifying units. They do a lot of damage. 55% hack armor, 35% pierce armor. Full bronze at the moment against the 11 damage chariot archers, but the weakness is 4 speed, which isn't a whole lot. As this Migdol Stronghold is going to be coming up, we see the archery range getting taken down here as the chariot archer does retreat back. And we'll see how it's all going to go as these units getting taken out over here. The Avenger cleans up that military barracks here, pushing around, take out these medium Myrmidon as best as they can. And I don't see it for AC. What's the plan? AC has got bronze. He does have bronze, so I guess he could all in somewhere. We see Chariot Archers coming over here. Nice. Fortress actually coming in onto this position. The Bellerophon with 8 HP is a little bit sad looking, but might be able to get in here and get some damage done as 1 or 2 villagers do get picked off. But now AC the Great's got a gold mine. He's 140 population. Where's he going to go? He could just come straight onto this town center, I guess, is an option. He's got the fortress here, so maybe a Heliopoli or something like that with bronze to push through. But while this is happening, the siege tower is coming into the main base of AC the Great, taking out his military production nicely. Skady is sitting at a beautiful amount of population at 180 of 180. He's even got the market up in the top corner over here, making the trade route happen, getting his economy primed. to function with 180 population. He's even making himself some axemen here. He can get himself this upgrade out of the building here called Axe of Vengeance, out of the barracks called Axe of Vengeance, which doubles its damage against buildings, effectively making it as strong, if not stronger, than a Zeus hoplite at dealing with buildings. I think that's true. Might not be true. I don't know. Anyways, siege towers taking down houses. Now we are starting to see the Colossus coming out. AC does realize that what his win condition is. He's making 2 right now, so this could be relatively difficult to deal with, and he could take out this location. But where are the units gone? The units now coming in for AC. The second Colossus is going to be huge. With 12 medium Myrmidon, he could very easily take this town center down with a big bronze push, as that's exactly what he's thinking about doing right now. The problem for him for AC, however, is these axemen coming through. The Colossus with no upgrades and no friend to help out. No bronze being dropped. You have to use bronze here. Why are you not using bronze? I'll click it for you. Let me click it. Ah! Another Colossus coming in, as the first one is down to the surely funeral rites. No funeral rites for Skady either, as the units come in and they're just going to get cleaned up. Skady's units are full bronze themselves. So too would be AC. AC's got like iron shields here, but that's it. That's it. And the town center is going to be able to survive, as AC has to go back to the drawing board. Another temple coming up for AC to produce some more Colossus out. He's at 97 population. These barracks have been cleaned up over here, and in that moment, AC decides to tap out. I'm sure, hands in his face, cannot believe that he ceasefired his opponent while his opponent was building a town center here. A catastrophic mistake. They're not using bronze in this final push. I feel like that could have been enough to at least get this town center down. Maybe not getting it back, but maybe could have got it down, especially because he's kind of stabilized here, though he would be running out of this gold mine, needing to build a trader out instantly. But it just didn't work out for AC. Skady too strong in this game, and in these couple of games, actually really showing up in these games. I don't know what to say here. I do feel like that the big thing that felt really, really lackluster for AC was his Toxotes. I don't see the point in Toxotes in this matchup at all. The only unit that Toxotes really counter is Spearmen and Axemen. And guess what counter Spearmen and Axemen? They soft counter them. Hippocon counter Axemen, Hoplites counter Spearmen. So you can deal with that. And then your Hoplites deal with cavalry as well as elephant. Your Hippocon deal with the chariot archers, and then you can go into prodromus if you really want, if your opponent is raiding you with their cavalry. It just makes perfect sense to me. One day we'll see it. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.